The modern world feels fast, connected, and automatic. Lights turn on instantly. Money moves in seconds. Food arrives at your door with a tap. Information travels across the planet in moments. Most of the time, we don't think about how any of this works. That's because the systems making it possible are designed to stay invisible. They operate quietly in the background, coordinating millions of actions every second. When they work, we barely notice them. When they fail, everything stops. Cities freeze, businesses halt, and daily life breaks down. These systems are not futuristic inventions. They are already running the world you live in right now. Today, we are pulling back the curtain to reveal the invisible systems that quietly shape modern life.
Invisible systems are the organized processes that allow modern society to function without constant human attention. They include technical systems, logistical networks, digital platforms, and institutional rules that coordinate behavior at massive scale. These systems are called invisible because most people interact only with their outcomes, not their inner workings. You experience electricity, not power generation. You use money, not financial clearing systems. You see search results, not the algorithms ranking them. Invisible systems reduce complexity by handling decisions automatically. They replace thousands of individual choices with structured processes. This makes life faster and more efficient, but it also creates dependence. When people no longer understand how systems work, control shifts away from individuals. Understanding invisible systems is the first step toward understanding how modern power, coordination, and dependency operate.
Modern cities depend on infrastructure systems that remain largely unseen. Electricity travels through underground cables and distant power stations. Clean water flows through pipes hidden beneath streets. Waste disappears through sewer systems that most people never think about. Transportation relies on signaling systems, schedules, and maintenance networks operating continuously. These systems must remain stable and predictable. Even short interruptions can cause widespread disruption. Because infrastructure works silently, it is often taken for granted. Investment and maintenance usually receive attention only after failure occurs. Infrastructure systems are among the oldest invisible systems, yet they are also the most critical. Without them, digital technology, economic activity, and daily routines would collapse almost immediately. Digital systems now organize much of modern life. Search engines decide which information appears first. Navigation systems choose routes through cities. Recommendation systems shape what people watch, read, and buy. Payment systems authorize transactions in milliseconds. These systems operate automatically using predefined rules and data-driven decision-making. Users rarely see the logic behind these decisions. Instead, results appear instantly, giving the impression of simplicity. In reality, massive computational systems are evaluating probabilities and outcomes in the background. Digital systems are powerful because they scale instantly across millions of users. This efficiency creates convenience, but it also concentrates influence. The systems deciding outcomes are often controlled by a small number of organizations. Money feels simple when used daily, but modern finance is driven by complex, invisible systems. Banks, clearinghouses, payment networks, and regulatory frameworks coordinate the movement of value across the world. When you pay with a card or phone, multiple systems verify identity, availability, and authorization instantly. Currency stability depends on policies, institutions, and trust mechanisms operating continuously. Most people never see these processes unless something goes wrong. Financial systems influence inflation, employment, and access to resources. Because they operate behind interfaces, their power often goes unnoticed. Understanding financial systems reveals how deeply modern life depends on coordinated trust and automated verification. Invisible systems shape power because they determine outcomes without direct confrontation. Whoever designs, maintains, and controls systems influences behavior at scale. Rules embedded in systems decide what is allowed, what is delayed, and what is denied. These decisions feel neutral because they are automated. Over time, people adapt their behavior to system constraints. This creates quiet forms of control that are rarely questioned. Power no longer always looks like authority or force. It often looks like default settings, automated approvals, and invisible limits. Understanding invisible systems reveals how modern power operates silently through structure rather than command. Algorithmic systems quietly shape what people see, read, and focus on every day. Social media feeds, video platforms, news apps, and online stores all rely on algorithms to rank content. These systems analyze behavior such as clicks, watch time, pauses, and scrolling speed. Based on this data, they predict what is most likely to keep attention. The goal is not understanding or truth, but engagement. Over time, this process shapes habits and preferences. People begin to see similar content repeatedly, reinforcing certain ideas while others disappear. Because these decisions happen instantly and automatically, they feel natural. Yet behind every recommendation is a system making choices at scale. Algorithmic systems influence culture, opinions, and consumption patterns without direct instruction, making them one of the most powerful, invisible systems in the modern world. Global supply chains are invisible systems that connect raw materials, factories, transportation, and consumers. When you buy food, clothing, or electronics, complex logistical systems have already coordinated thousands of steps. Goods move through ports, warehouses, trucks, ships, and distribution centers using schedules and tracking systems. Most of this coordination happens without human oversight at each step. Software predicts demand, optimizes routes, and manages inventory. When supply chains function smoothly, shelves stay full and prices remain stable. When they fail, shortages appear quickly. Because supply chains stretch across countries and continents, small disruptions can create global consequences. These systems are essential to modern life, yet most people never see them unless something goes wrong. Bureaucratic systems organize societies through rules, forms, and procedures. Identification systems, tax systems, licensing processes, and legal frameworks all operate quietly in the background. These systems decide who can travel, work, own property, or access services. Most interactions are automated or standardized, reducing the need for personal judgment. Because rules are embedded in systems, decisions feel neutral and impersonal. However, these systems shape opportunities and limits in powerful ways. People often adapt their behavior to avoid friction with bureaucratic processes. While these systems provide order and stability, they can also be difficult to challenge or change. Bureaucratic systems demonstrate how invisible structures guide behavior without constant enforcement or visible authority. Invisible systems create efficiency, but they also create dependence. As societies rely more on automated systems, failure becomes more disruptive. When power grids fail, cities shut down. When payment systems crash, commerce stops. When digital platforms go offline, communication breaks. Because systems are interconnected, failure in one area can spread rapidly. Many modern risks are systemic rather than individual. These failures often reveal how little redundancy exists. People may not know how to function without the systems they depend on. This makes resilience a critical issue. Understanding system dependence helps explain why modern disruptions feel sudden and overwhelming. The more invisible a system becomes, the more dangerous its failure can be. Invisible systems shape how the modern world works, but they rarely explain themselves. Understanding these systems changes how people see everyday life. It reveals that convenience is not accidental, and control is often structural. Systems reflect human decisions, priorities, and incentives. When people understand how systems operate, they gain the ability to question, adapt, and improve them. Awareness does not remove systems, but it reduces blind dependence. As technology and automation expand, invisible systems will only grow more influential. The future will be shaped less by visible authority and more by systems operating in the background. Learning to see these systems is the first step toward participating in how the modern world is designed and governed.
The modern world does not run on magic or coincidence. It runs on invisible systems working quietly in the background. These systems move energy, information, money, goods, and decisions every second of every day. Most of the time, we don't notice them because when systems work well, they disappear from attention. But when they fail, everything stops. Understanding invisible systems changes how we see everyday life. It reminds us that convenience is designed, efficiency is engineered, and control is often structural. The next question is not whether these systems exist, it is who designs them, who controls them, and who they ultimately serve.